With Superman, James Gunn has now directed 7 films, so that means I'm going to rank from worst to best all the films of one of my favorite directors. Super. We'll soon get to the part in the video where that title is followed by man. I feel in certain ways it's the most tonally inconsistent, which is not usually how he is, and it's also maybe a bit more mean-spirited for my taste. There is fun to be had. Rainn Wilson is great in the film, but it's still a film I'm not really sure how to feel about. Slither is James Gunn's directorial debut. It's equal parts gross gore and signature James Gunn humor. I can be hit or miss with monster movies, so parts of the film weren't really my cup of tea, but nevertheless, this was a very solid start to James Gunn as a director. Guardians Volume 1, the movie that shot James Gunn into the A-list of directors. It took these oddball niche characters from the comics and made them mainstream. So even though it's number 5, it is still a very good and a very important film. The Suicide Squad. And I feel like what James Gunn did for the Guardians, he does here, because these are, again, oddball characters for the DC universe that are now very memorable because of how good this film is. But in the midst of all the violence and all the dark humor and all that, he still manages to find the humanity of all these characters. And in that way, this film is equally heartfelt as it is funny and exciting. Superman. You guys already know what my thoughts are on this film. I've talked about it in 2 previous videos. But again, this is just a perfectly cast film. It has perhaps the best Superman action I have ever seen. And it's one thing for James Gunn to have memorable moments in his films. Every single film of his has sequences that are instantly iconic. But it's another thing altogether when he's able to create equally iconic sequences and a film overall for the Man of Steel, the OG superhero. Guardians Volume 2. I have always had a special place in my heart for this one. We have perhaps my favorite soundtrack of the trilogy. It's the film of the trilogy that I've seen the most times, and I've never gotten tired of it. But my number 1 is Guardians Volume 3, because it is simultaneously one of the darkest MCU films, while also being one of the MCU's most emotionally satisfying films. This was a perfect end to our Guardians.